こんにちは皆さん、ニキタです。今日は日本語の勉強するのが話に行きます。Hey everyone, this is Nikita and today I want to impart with you 9 successful tips to learn Japanese for self-learners. Now, before we begin, make sure that your motivation to learn Japanese is a strong one. Coming from someone whose native language uses the Roman alphabet, I've already learned 5 languages before learning Japanese, so I have some idea on the mechanics of learning languages. I believe Japanese is quite a challenging language. So, with that in mind, don't give up. Japanese is challenging, but it's not impossible. So, at the end of each tip, I'm also going to give you some free resources that I've used or recommend if you're just starting out. So let's begin. Number 1, learn by listening. Use audio CDs and podcasts. I was able to speak Japanese right away because of these tools. My mother actually gave me a Pimsleur Japanese CD, and that's what kicked off my Japanese studies. In fact, in my video where I only speak Japanese, I talk about this whole experience. If you want to see that video, I will also put a link down below. Check it out. Now, at this point in time, don't worry so much about grammatical rules and such. These tools will provide you with grammatically correct sentences that you can use in everyday situations. Just like when a child first learns how to speak, they learn through listening and repeating what their parents say. So at this point, just focus on listening and repeating what you've learned. The whole point of listening and repeating is so that you can get familiar with Japanese speech patterns and sounds, and you can assimilate that into your learning and recognize what is Japanese. Number 2, learn the 3 alphabets. Yes, Japanese has 3 alphabets and they're divided into number 1, Hiragana, which is the cursive alphabet that is taught to elementary kids and probably the first alphabet that you will learn. Number 2, Katakana, which is the alphabet they use for borrowed and foreign words that have been incorporated into the Japanese language. Number 3 is Kanji, the pictographic alphabet that's derived from the Chinese language. You would need to learn all 3 just to read a simple sentence, such as the one that appears below. このバナナが美味しいですね。びっくりした。猫だ。Number 3, learn the kanji through words, not through the readings. It's important to know the Chinese and the Japanese readings of the kanji, but I find that it's more important to know the context of how the kanji is used. The reading of a kanji can be pronounced in many different ways. So I think it's best to focus on how the kanji is used and how it's relevant to the sentence, like this sentence that appears below. Now this sentence is pronounced 3月1日は日曜日で祝日は晴れの日でした. As you can see, the character for sun is used 5 times in the sentence, but is pronounced in numerous ways. That just exemplifies my point as to the context of the sentence is more important sometimes than focusing on knowing the Chinese and the Japanese readings. So to learn the kanji, I would recommend Remembering the Kanji by James W. Heisig. Now this book does not teach you how to read the kanji, but will definitely help you remember it. Sometimes I could understand the sentence even though I don't know how to say what the kanji is used in that sentence. So I find this to be very helpful. Number 4, learn the grammar. Once you've been speaking Japanese, you're going to start noticing some patterns in the syntax. So I think it's time to dive into fully learning the grammar. There's just no way around it. This is a book that I would recommend if you're just starting out. It's called The Dictionary of Basic Japanese Grammar by Seiichi Makino and Michio Tsutsui. It's a really good book, and it shows you examples on how to use the grammar in a very concise and clear way. Number 5, make learning fun and build your vocab at the same time. I think it's important to engage yourself in activities that you already like and do it in Japanese. such as playing video games. A lot of people actually think that I know so much about the Shinshin Gumi, but it's because I've been playing this game, Hakuoki. So, if you like music, if you like anime, if you like to read manga, if you like to cook, my other personal favorite thing to do is to sew with Japanese patterns, which I've also made a video on how to use if you want to check that out. It's right up here. It's going to be somewhere around there. I find that anime is helpful in terms of listening for Japanese. They do seem to omit a lot of topic markers when you get into the grammar because they talk in a very colloquial manner. So I would just watch out for that. I don't think if you're just learning, you wouldn't probably want to sound like an anime character. Just a tip. Number 6, write a journal. Why? Well, to solidify your Japanese learning. If you're like myself and you're learning Japanese outside of a classroom, you might miss out on actually practicing written Japanese since you're not doing written assignments, essays, or any of that stuff. So I would recommend writing a journal. This is a journal. It's actually my Japanese journal. I got this from Daiso and it was like $1. And this is what it looks like inside. It's nothing fancy. And what I did is that every time I learned new grammar points, I would use it here in my journal. So it just kind of looks like this. The sentences here, they look intimidating, but they're really pretty basic. Like I said, it's just a vehicle for me to use my Japanese. Now, if you're just starting out, your journal will probably look something like this. This is just a fake entry that I used. Now, as you can see, this one is written all in Hiragana, and that's fine. But later on, which I will be flipping the page to, what you could do as a writing assignment is use the same entry, rewrite the entry in kanji. So that's what I did here. I did the same entry, but the words that actually had a kanji counterpart, I wrote it down. So that will help you solidify with your language learning. If you don't do a writing assignment from time to time, 3 things might happen. 1, you'll be reliant on technology and autocorrect, which doesn't really show fluency on your behalf or help you in fluency. Number 2, you're going to forget to write the kanji, or you're just not going to know how to write the kanji at all. Number 3, your grammar may or may not suffer, but I think it really helps you with your grammar when you do written exercises. Number 7, have language goals. Now, mine is to pass the JLPTN2. I know it's kind of intimidating, but because I have this goal, my learning has been accelerated tenfold. Now, whether I pass or not is going to be a different question. Still, I keep studying. So, what's yours? Is it to read a menu in Japanese? Is it to read manga? Is it to finally watch Japanese movies without subtitles? It could be the simplest of things. It's just motivation for you to keep learning Japanese. So, find a language goal. Number 8, use it often. And it's true what they say, if you don't use it, you lose it. So even if your Japanese is still very basic, use it as often as you want. Well, you might say, I don't know any Japanese speaking person, or I don't have any Japanese speaking people around me. Well, you can always go on social media, go on Hello Talk, Hi Native, also, Instagram, or there's so many places that you could go to connect with Japanese people or Japanese speaking people. I'm lucky because at my day job, I actually work with Japanese clients, so I'm able to use it on a day-to-day basis. Now, I was also lucky that when I lived in California, there were a lot of Japanese stores. So I would also practice my Japanese with the employees. Now, don't assume that just because you go to a Japanese store that everyone speaks Japanese. listen. If they do speak Japanese, then you can approach them and talk to them in Japanese. That would be my tip. Now, another thing that I do is when I post on Instagram, I do a bilingual post. I do a post in English and Japanese all the time. Number 9, finally, go to Japan. Duh! That is your big reward for studying Japanese, isn't it? Book yourself a flight. Don't wait too long in the very distant future, but make sure to go to Japan, get to know people, talk to people in Japanese, try to rely even in your small toolbox of Japanese, try and use it. It will be a very rewarding experience, I promise you. So I think that's about it for all my 9 tips. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please do so. So if you are learning Japanese like I am, put them down in the comments below. I would love to know what your reasons are. Well, I think that's it for today. Stay you and be fabulous like Bananya, and see ya!